Welcome to another episode of Alaskan Babble podcast where they babble and we gaggle. It's been about 2 weeks since we last been on the show, and there's been some psychological improvements in Van's life. He has finally decided that he knows how to gaggle after going up in the deep mountains of Anchorage, Alaska. He has learned how to control his inner gaggle. Congratulations, Van.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. I don't know what he's talking about. We do have one or two things I want to cover.
Okay.
This is this is not a basement. uh, Secondly, is like a bonus. We finally made enough money for me to get a battery to fix the beep in the back.
Oh, thank
So
God.
this will be the last
Yay.
episode of the smoke alarm beeping. We finally made enough money to get a
Oh,
battery.
thank God. And it's all thanks to not your guys' support. You didn't give us a cent yet.
Um,
Well, we could accept money. That's fine.
Thank you for everything.
Yes, thank you.
The
Thank you.
motivation.
The motivation is always there.
Yeah. The motivation is money.
So today we are joined by Marcus Phang, who does something with the government. Would you like to talk about what you do with the government?
Yeah, I'm a professional smoke alarm beep detector.
No.
Brilliant. So,
Not my actual profession.
I
Just
mean, if it is, that's fine. I bet you have a lot to say about this beep right now with the smoke detector.
good job, guys. We're not even 5 minutes into this episode, and we're already discussing something as controversial as smoke alarm beeps and certain stereotypes associated with smoke alarm beeps. Well, Tyken, first and foremost, thank you very much for having me on your show. Thank you for inviting me. I feel like despite the fact that we're best friends, I never envisioned myself to be on this show, just because you and I have always kept separate interests, and I think part of what makes our friendship work is because we have separate interests, but we can still somehow see eye to eye on a lot of things.
I
But
completely agree.
but as far as like being here
Mhm.
on an episode of your podcast as your guest, never envisioned it.
Well, it's always
So
a pleasure to have you
you
on.
just please,
Yeah.
yeah. Even though this is my first time, um, so please forgive me
Oh,
for any anxiety that I might feel regarding this whole thing.
oh, well, I'll try to make you not feel so anxious about what we're going to talk about. So, you okay there, man?
I think my anxiety levels are through the roof
Are
right
they?
now.
Are they through the
But
roof?
In your own home,
yeah. What's going on right now?
We're having a moment, Van.
I don't know what that I don't consent to this.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm like the beep. I just come around every
Oh,
now and
do you?
again. I don't consent to this. But before we figure out where you work and who are you? How old are you? Any kids? You grew up here? How do you like Alaska?
my name is Marcus. Some of you know me as Mark. I am a caseworker for the state of Alaska. I'll um I'll decline to comment on the agency for now.
Okay.
If if I feel like if I feel like we get there, I can expand on a little of that.
Yeah,
But
we got to do
Yeah.
a little bit of foreplay before we get to that
Oh yeah, no,
topic.
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you got to tease into it.
We got to do a
Yeah,
little teaser.
yeah, right.
Too far.
Oh, well, you didn't
No,
press it.
nope, no, I
Missed
didn't.
opportunity.
Nope, nope. I let go at the last moment.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Listen, I just want to say that I'm Tyken's best friend, right? And we've known each other since college, since
Wow.
since his first
Yeah, first
attempt
semester.
at college.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
15 years,
yeah.
if I remember correctly. 15 years.
You'll be at the graduation?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
good.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah.
I've known him twice as long as I've known my wife.
Wow.
And
To
probably
put it
three
to
times
put
as
it
long as I known
put
my
it in
wife.
Wow.
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a long time. People say that this is my first wife.
Okay.
Um
Y'all want to talk about Alaska?
Well, that's number one. 4 more to go.
anyway, go ahead. Yeah, he went too far there. I'm sorry. You all know that
Oh,
watch the show.
oh no,
He went
apologies
too
needed.
far there.
no apologies needed on
Uh,
my part.
I mean, did you go to high school here?
Yep.
What
Yeah.
high school did you go to?
Service.
Service, really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Oh, the good side of town. Uh,
I guess.
Good for you.
I
Yeah, I
guess.
mean, teach your song. But I only say that based off of knowing people that have children that play hockey,
Mhm.
and you always hear service side is the better players, and I don't know if you know that, but
Yeah, I followed my school's teams very closely, and I think one of the years I went there, it was their football team that
mm,
went to nationals. So
Hmm.
it was a very exciting time. It definitely brought the high school to att- attention on the national level.
yeah,
Oh,
So
very
yeah.
nice.
yeah,
And that was
How
when you
but
were going to high school.
yeah,
how
Yeah.
old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
yeah, no, not at all. I'm 32.
Oh, a
32.
young
Yeah,
man.
I'm just a
Yeah,
year younger than Tyke, and
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're like
yeah,
4 years older than me,
yeah. Yeah.
but awesome.
4 years
Yeah,
older than
yeah.
you, huh?
Can
Is
I
that so?
can I answer your last question
What's
so
that?
that we can pave the way, so to speak, for a real Alaskan issue?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't have any children, Van,
Really?
because I've had an operation,
Oh,
Oh,
a certain
oh,
operation,
okay.
yes.
and the
Is this
reason
serious?
why,
Oh, are we being serious?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the reason why I believe it's an Alaskan issue and the reason why I feel comfortable bringing it up is because I think a lot of men, for some reason, this may be controversial, a lot of men in Alaska should get one, and they're
Should,
apprehensive because of pride. It's
mm.
like I feel like a lot of pride and a lot of ego stops a lot of guys, and that's not empowering at all. I think that actually shows vulnerability when you know it's the right thing to do
What are
and you
we
don't want to go
getting?
through with it.
What?
Well, now that's a very interesting topic that's worth discussing, I suppose. So you're telling us that getting a vasectomy is something that men
Oh,
should do
If they want to,
if they want to.
oh,
yeah,
So do you think it's a choice or a moral obligation to get a vasectomy?
it depends on what your lifestyle choices have been up to that
Sure.
point. I
Yeah.
feel it depends on what your lifestyle choices have been up to that point. No need to get in any lurid detail,
yeah.
but um, it's undeniable, right,
Hmm.
that certain lifestyle choices are strongly linked to unwanted pregnancies.
Mm,
Sure.
What think about the benefits that society just think about our community
mm-hmm.
here.
Sure.
Whether you define your community as just within a certain part of Anchorage, a certain side of Anchorage, or all of Anchorage, or all of Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
just within Alaska, think about what you think my community is, and then think about how would it benefit from it not being strained by unwanted pregnancy. And I think this. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I think men have a slightly higher responsibility. I think they do.
It takes two to tango when it comes to sexual encounters. That's the way I see it, right? And I mean, for the most part, and I hope it is for the most part, it takes two consenting adults to make a baby. I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
and taking one party that's responsible for having a child, right? And I do agree with you that protection should be made if you don't want to have a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm thinking of vasectomies, even though it could be reversed, as Steve Carell once said, snip, snap, snip, snap. Do you know what the pain is of vasectomies 3 times? But that's in a way that comes down to sterilization, right? And the way I see it is, should men be responsible to get a vasectomy in order to have sexual encounters? I don't, right? Because as a permanent decision on, well, permanent as in getting a vasectomy could lead to sterilization, right? And
I
if
think
they
it should
want
be a law
a
for
law,
certain men based on how many kids you were having and not supporting.
well, what makes it different than China then?
What? Not having so many kids?
Yeah. So, as we know in China, not anymore, but it used to be that you could only have one child.
Right. Not I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you can have as many kids as you want, but like he works for the child support system. Like how many men
It's okay.
have multiple children going through the child support system and they're not supporting them.
Which I totally agree with
At
that.
that point,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
talking, 7, 8 kids that they not supporting.
Which I hear that and I absolutely agree. And I suppose that's something that should be brought up, right? It's like what are when do we start punishing unwanted pregnancies, right? And I suppose for a male's perspective, I can understand what you're saying because at the end of the day, there's a lot of, as there's a lot of males that do not pay for child support. And, you would think that there's civil punishment for such actions. And, I suppose my whole hiccup with it is about bodily autonomy, right? And I suppose I personally don't believe that if you want to have sexual encounters, the default is you should get a vasectomy, right?
I don't think the government should be able to order a man to get a
No.
vasectomy. That
No, no,
would
no.
be remarkably dystopian.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
But in terms of culture, keeping it in terms of culture, what uh, people people who are going to have encounters,
Mhm.
what kind of value system should people begin embracing? You know, um, women are undeniably the limiting factor in reproduction.
Hmm.
They can only be pregnant for 9 to 10 months at a time.
Sure.
They are the ones who must suffer through that pregnancy,
Hmm.
whether it's voluntary or involuntary, whether they or not they wanted to get pregnant.
Sure.
Okay, and men don't have to deal with all that. I'm sorry, but
That's true. That's absolutely true.
men never have to deal with all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a bit. Some women don't even like it when uh they're in marriage and they want to have a baby, and then they refer to the pregnancy as we're pregnant. A lot of women don't like that. They're like, no, the woman and only the woman's pregnant. The man is not paying any kind of price in terms of bodily functions.
Not bodily functions. I would say, arguably, and you could speak for this, Van. I would imagine for a male that, it comes more of a mental responsibility, right?
Hmm.
If you want to be a good dad, right, you're going to be thinking about, well, what does the future look like? How can I secure income? How can I provide for this child to give it more than what I could have had, right? I know the time where I went through that, those were the four major thoughts that came into my head, and I was literally freaking out. Like I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I have this child coming. Now how do I how do I
Yeah,
provide for this child, especially when
yeah,
one of the one of the dual incomes is going to go out the door, right?
right. And that's a perfect connection to why I'm stating, the potential benefits it would have on society in Alaska is, we've all seen our once robust workforce
Hmm.
diminish. You
Correct.
know, I believe that one of the ways that our workforce can become happy, healthy, and robust again is by not having more people exit it due to unwanted pregnancies, you know? And I just feel like there's a lot of guys who think that like their genetic material is so valuable that getting a vasectomy would terminate something. It's like, no, there's nothing special about it. And especially if you're not planning on seriously making a family
Hmm. I think
and supporting your family.
it comes down to, I suppose, my view on that aspect comes down to choice, right? I it's some of the reasons why younger women that have no issues with,
Yeah.
reproduction want to get hysterectomies or and I think to myself, yes, you don't want a child now, but what will it look like 20 years down the line? Do you want to make such a permanent decision on your life that, you won't have a chance to have a child, right?
But it's
And
their decision, right?
right, and it's their decision at the time. I think it just comes down to, it should be a long dialogue process of how do I really feel like is this the immediate now that I want? will this be the same wants I want in the future, or will I want kids in the future? Right.
Yeah.
And when it comes to vasectomies, again, it can be reversed. I'm not saying it can't be reversed, but say that it's permanent. Say that you do get sterilized at the age of 18, right? 18 is a young age.
Hmm.
You don't know what you want. I'm not the same person as I was at 18 years old.
Mhm.
And I can say at 18 years old, I was definitely not ready for a child. But if I were to say get a vasectomy when I was 18 years old, now when I want to have children, say that I had a permanent damage and I wasn't able to have any kids. Well, that was the decision I made when I was 18, and it doesn't reflect the same values that I have now at 33.
That's why I said choice. Like, and it's your choice to not. You can choose to not have sex, though.
That's true.
Not saying you. I don't. I don't. I'm trying to be on both sides of what we talk about. I'm kind of lost, to be honest. So I'm trying to understand both sides of what y'all saying. It all comes down to choice, right? Like,
It does come
I
down to
think
choice.
I don't. So just so I'm clear, are we? Is it a? Are you? And I mean this with the most respect. Are you advocating for vasectomies
Yes.
or? Oh, okay.
Yes.
I
Not mandated ones.
oh, okay.
I am trying to stress that a man who is prone to sexual irresponsibility should get over himself and get a vasectomy.
Yeah, and it comes down to, I believe the key word is irresponsibility, right? Again, when it comes to sex, it takes two people to tangle.
Hmm.
It doesn't take one person. We don't transport our sperms in a cup and then the female partner's like, oh, let me decide if I'm gonna take this cup of sperm, right?
Hmm.
It's more of it does take two, it's two mutual choices,
Yeah.
right? And we can blame the male for being irresponsible, but it's also the female that's irresponsible too. It's like it takes two parties. And that's the reality of it. And it's not that one person is more responsible than the other, in my opinion, when it comes to sexual encounters. Now, should everyone have safe sex? Absolutely. There's many ways you can go about without having unwanted pregnancies, which I absolutely agree. And it comes down to education. It comes down to, having contraceptives, but I
No,
don't.
I
those are
continue
options, but
I continue to
no.
believe that um w- the shared irresponsibility you mentioned, the outcome is always the woman suffering more because women are the ones that get pregnant, not
I
men.
don't deny that. I absolutely do not deny that. That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
How? I guess I don't. I'm trying to be neutral in this, but I don't want. Like, how do we? How do
It's
you
difficult to,
classify
yeah.
it as torture on the? I mean, a woman would have to speak for herself uh, before that can be said. Like, how do you classify it as torture? I think when a man and a woman makes a baby, whether they did it intentionally or not, it's a magical thing, and it's up to them um, to not have sex if they don't want to make a. I mean, I don't. I think you're going against the magic there, and you putting it in man's
I
hands.
think it can
I
be
think
magical. I think it can be magical
by
for people
mistake or
who
not. Look, how many people can't have a baby?
Yeah, that's true.
So where's their magic? So we like killing, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know.
I would agree with at a certain point
By choice, yes. By force,
that's a different
no.
story.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, when it's by force is a completely
yeah,
different story. I'm talking
yeah.
about I'm talking about if it was a choice by both parties, not talking about by force. That's a completely different thing. And, if it's ever done by force, the person that is the assailant
Hmm.
should absolutely face any charges that would happen to them.
ooh,
Well, I mean, force. It could be on. It could be both. It don't have to be physical force. It could be, force of words or. You
Yeah.
know,
Persuasion.
how many women have gotten married and or no, I won't even say women, a couple have gotten married going into the marriage and with an understanding of we're not going to have children, and then later down the line one party might want a kid and the other party might not, but um, you know, the obligation will force you into having a child to make your partner happy. That's what I mean. Not physical, but any, you know.
And I
So,
hear that.
so because a vasectomy is voluntary and it's very very permanent. By the way, I firmly believe that a reversal should not be seen as an option when you get one. The initial operation should be seen as the permanent operation that will change you and permanently remove your ability
I
to
believe
impregnate
that.
somebody,
Yeah.
and
I
that
believe
you shouldn't be able you
that.
shouldn't be
Shit,
you shouldn't
just
be
like you
seeing
tried to,
yeah
you made
yeah
that baby
yeah.
and you got to deal with it by choice. You had a vasectomy and you got to deal with it by
So
choice. I completely believe that.
so like a lot of realities, right? Like a lot of
Hmm.
realities in the world that we just must accept. That's like too bad, so sad kind of reality. If you get the operation and then later on in life perhaps you mature, perhaps your perspective on families change,
Hmm.
and then you begin to desire having children. You should have thought of that,
Well, it's a
right?
lot of
Well, that's
babies.
that's exactly my argument, though. It's life, and we're gonna go with your definition, right?
Yeah.
That you know that vasectomy should be permanent and should not be
You can't
going
rely.
back.
Yeah, you shouldn't
You
rely on a
shouldn't rely on
reversal.
going back on
Yeah.
a reversal.
Mhm.
It comes down to my original argument is that what you would think that you wanted before may not align with your values later because we as people we're not stagnated creatures, we evolve over time. Now if it's
Mhm.
for the better or for worse, who knows, but that's the reality is that who you were at 18 is not who you are right now. You've
Yeah.
gone through a phase of maturity and evolution to where you want, and that part of maturity is you wanted a vasectomy because that's the betterment of your lifestyle, right? And that's something I absolutely commend you on, that you were able to make that choice and be able to say, look, I may not want to, I don't want children, but I want the life that I feel me and my wife want. And that's great. And I commend you for that. But that's not the same case for every single person out there. And I guess going back to the question of culture, should it be a cultural thing for men to get vasectomies if they, and correct me if I'm wrong with your wording here, should men get vasectomies to have sexual encounters? Like, should that be the requirement? Well, if that's the requirement, then we got more sterilization.
Who's putting the laws
Well,
on
it's not about a
choice?
law
The
thing.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I
all
mean,
clear that they shouldn't be government
yeah,
mandated.
yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
very dystopian.
Choice. I'm all for choice, but when we're talking about having to and no, so there's somebody else controlling the narrative there.
Yeah.
Now it's all choice. Just like a woman got a choice, a man got a choice. The only people that don't have choices in all of these aspects is the child.
Yeah. And I absolutely agree. And I've seen a lot of horror cases of children suffering through the consequences of those actions, which I'm sure part of the reason why you generated this philosophy is because you've seen the horrors of how it looks like for the children on the other side being in the position that you're in.
I've seen the harm that recklessness does to Alaskan communities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as how I would summarize it. I've seen the harm that recklessness does to Alaskan communities, and I believe that, Van, he used a really, really great word. He said narrative. If the narrative amongst people who are sexually active was that I will be more responsible, I will be more selective with who my partners are, it's not an illegal form of discrimination to choose partners.
Hmm.
If you're a man choosing a partner or a woman choosing a partner, whatever your orientation is, of course, uh, we're discussing women who are getting pregnant by men
Yeah.
here.
No,
So
I think we discussing
we can
children. Um,
we can respectfully foster a culture in which, yes, people can be reasonably discriminatory And that's not a bad word because there's a difference between this kind of discrimination and illegal discrimination. It's not a moral and ethical affront to be selective in that regard.
So do you
And
think,
say, yeah,
do you
I
believe
find
a better definition maybe is that for our culture, we should, specifically for Alaska, we as a society should
Pay attention
pay
to the
attention.
children.
Yeah, no, well, not just that, but when it comes to sexual encounters, be safe when you're having sexual encounters.
yes,
It's repetitive,
Yeah,
y'all. Like it's happened in my generation, your generation. It's still happening in your generation.
it's
absolutely.
It's
because people like to have
repetitive,
sex.
and it's
Yeah,
only it starts at home,
yeah.
and that's a lot
Mm,
of the root. I mean, it can be everything from bad parenting to sexually assaulted as a child. I mean, the root starts at home. And then keep in mind, um, a man is it a man and woman? But 26 years old is when you are considered to have a fully developed brain, correct?
Correct.
So, who after 26? What's the demographic from 26 on to somebody just illegitimately out just having children from 12 to 25? I mean, there's a huge difference there. So that would tell you from the third grade to the eighth grade, they've been exposed to sex some way or form.
I mean, that's true, especially because our culture is a very sexual nature.
The TV. I mean,
Game of
you
Thrones.
know, it's there. It's a bigger picture there. I think.
I think education level is a very very influential factor. I
Absolutely.
firmly believe that education level, and I firmly believe that socioeconomic status is also a very very
Oh,
influential
absolutely.
factor.
Hmm.
Um, it's not it's far far more nuanced than to say poor people of X or Y race are more likely to do sexually reckless activities. It's
Sure.
far more nuanced than that. But generally speaking, impoverished areas tend to see uh, strong links to unwanted pregnancies.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
absolutely agree with
yeah.
that. It's not just a matter of personal opinion, it's about
S-
what the statistics say as
So
well.
so yes, in terms of
There's a
narrative,
lot of other factors that goes into those
yep,
statistics as well.
Well, absolutely.
yep.
There's
Oh
there's
yeah,
there's prostitution, unforced and forced, impoverished neighborhoods as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, just being in Alaska, um, some of the stores that I deal with, one in particular was the Gamble Safeway, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
It's no longer there.
Rest in peace.
Um,
Rest in peace, cars on Gamble.
um, you can get a prostitute over there. Yeah. If you sell drugs, you can do whatever. And it's probably a lot cleaner now since the store's been shut down. But I've seen cars come through that neighborhood picking up some of them women in vehicles I know damn well ain't from that neighborhood. So
Right. Right. I really don't see the prostitution levels in Anchorage. It's something I don't really pay attention to.
we don't see anything. Like none of this affects our lives really, does it? Up until it's
No, until it's
an
direct at
attempt.
you.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't feel nothing no more.
Because we're privileged enough to be sheltered from that,
No,
right?
because we busy and we trying to survive. You got to choose one. Like, do I want to eat or do I want to pay attention to this shit? Like, they both costing you money.
We all acknowledge that it's there though, and it's tragic. It's tragic. Like
I think we so busy, and there's so much shit going on around the world. You get engulfed and you get pulled 15, 30 different ways. I mean, then you don't have a mental breakdown,
Yeah, I would say that
at
because there's
some
only so
point.
much we can
Yeah.
handle.
Um,
You know,
yeah, it's scary.
it's like I think there was a recent study that came out that the dangers of, seeing real life assassinations like Charlie Kirk on the website, on Facebook, how the uncensored version was out.
Yeah.
And it gave those people a lot of PTSD
Yeah.
after seeing that video.
mm,
And I think it's because the human mind can't handle seeing such real violence, right?
Yeah.
Real violence. And that's true, right? And I would say that I would argue it's not privilege. I think it just comes down to is our brains doesn't want to rationalize such horrors that surround us, right? It's like, why do we not like to look at, why as kids do we not like to look at the closet or what's under the bed at night to see the monster, right? Because we don't want to conceptualize there's a monster underneath us. And that's the same for society, is that we don't want to see the monsters in society because we don't want to, it affects our cognition of life and how we see it. It opens, I would arguably say, suffering.
I think the monster in society is the lack of resources and
Yeah.
the sheer greed
Hmm.
that's perpetuating a lot of the things that you're out there. I don't think that I don't think that somebody who is mentally ill and out on the streets is the monster. I think they're suffering.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So working the job you have, I'm sure you've seen plenty of these reckless encounters with, the abuse of, I would say the abuse of being able to have a child because, like Vance said, I think having a child is a magical experience, right? It's magic. I would say it's a gift. It's a gift much more than a curse, but with any gifts, they can be abused, right? And which
Yeah.
is something I'm sure you see in your occupation is the abusal of this gift that we have.
Hmm.
It's the category that I wanted to discuss coming onto this podcast, and it's what I wanted to focus on because yes, it's something that bothers me very very much. This is one of those things that everyone's got something that keeps them up at night, right?
Right, we
Right,
do. We
Van. I'm
all
sure you
do.
have things that keep you up at night.
It's
Tyke, and
a
I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, for Van,
Yeah.
it's knowing
Right.
that we shoot in his
Yeah.
basement,
Well, the
but
Yeah. No. No.
well,
No.
this is what
I
keep,
don't have anything uh that keeps me up at night.
well this keeps me up at night,
yeah,
and
But I know how that feels. I used to.
yeah
I used
yeah
to.
yeah.
yeah. And do you feel like it's because it's hard for you to compartmentalize your work from home? Do you take that with you?
If all of a sudden um unwanted pregnancies just magically vanished from Alaska and it put me out of a job, that'd be okay with me.
Yeah, I hear you
I'd
there.
be okay with that. I can go work somewhere else.
That's a degradation of the family system too,
Yeah.
right? And that's really comes down to there's, I would say that, we, as a society, I would say even as a governmental standpoint, we don't support marriages, children anymore. We don't. There's actually a lot more penalties to being married and having kids than being a single mom and having children, right?
You don't think it was systematically set up
I
that
would
way?
arguably say it might be.
For a lot of it, um, a lot of the undeveloped brain people that are doing these things that we're talking about, they didn't grow up with a household setting. Like,
Yeah,
how many people is it in the world, and how small is the problem we're
sure.
talking
And
about?
I hear you.
Um, for some places, it was systematically set up. Like everything changed. Um, a question that I always ask people is, um, do you notice the difference from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and the 90s, right?
Well, I know you the difference between, for example, the 40s and 50s
Just in like
would be very
how I'm
stark
saying is
because
clothes,
yeah.
cars, the music, the scenes, like those are all they all have their own thing, right?
Mhm.
You
Oh yeah,
notice
certainly.
anything different from the 2000s to now?
Are you specifically talking about children, families or
The change.
yeah, there's a
Oh yeah.
significant
You
Oh
change.
think
yeah.
so?
Absolutely. I still think there's a significant, if we're going to talk about family system, the nuclear family system was a lot stronger
back then.
back then than it is now. And
Yeah,
I would believe the big reasons why we have a lot of oopsie babies and,
I think
yeah,
the music was different. Um,
well, yeah, it was
that plays
different.
a big part. What you see on TV was a little different,
Our
and
culture
then
was different.
I think within the last um 20 years, a lot of, and no offense to nobody, a huge number of whoever had children that couldn't, like, did we forget about the girls gone wild? Like these girls grew up to be mothers.
That's true.
Um and probably throughout that stage, like, made themselves vulnerable to be taken advantage of. And it's I think it's systematically it's I think it's to a certain extent either a mental issue or a
It's
disruption there, something,
right.
uh, a trauma,
I would
some
like
sort
to
of
arguably
trauma.
say it's the over sexualization of our culture now that led us to here.
These kids right now in trouble if they have social media, uh, a phone, five and up now,
Yeah,
6. They in trouble. Every other video on Facebook, for one, is a ass. Every other scroll is a ass.
that's
It's a
true.
ass shot.
Yeah.
So
I I think it'd be extremely difficult to determine whether or not 2005 was more or less promiscuous than 2025, but I will say this. What sets 2025 apart from 2005 is the overwhelming number of different mediums that you can share
Oh,
on these days.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
we 2005 did not have uh Facebook,
right,
IG, OF,
right,
what have you. Yeah,
right,
that's the big difference. And
right,
so with how many more with how many more platforms there are,
right,
yeah,
right,
that's why it seems like it's more widespread
right.
that
absolutely.
that material like that
Yeah,
has become far more accessible.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel
And
like
now
we're
they're
bec
shutting it down. Like, oh shit, we created a beast, and
well, we did create a beast. That's, I feel like we're becoming the podcast is anti technology.
yeah,
But I go back to Hunt, right? Hunt talks a lot about this in his book, The Anxiety Generation, which is a
mm-hmm,
read that I think everyone should read.
mm,
And it's about all about when the iPhone came out, right? That
mm,
changed everything for every generation past our generation, really.
yeah,
And what just comes down to is we have an over sexualization in our society. It's everywhere. We can open our phone, and as you said, there's an ass on every other page or post for Facebook now,
mm-hmm,
right? And that leads to doors of being people of society being more promiscuous,
mm-hmm,
especially in Anchorage where the male count is much higher than the female count. So it just comes down to is that we're losing our value system. Like we see sex as a just a social encounter rather than being the seriousness. Sex is fun, it's great, but if you have sex without commitment, then something oopsie happens, right? And it comes down to the even like Tinder being a one night stand app rather than something that should help you find relationships. Well, it generates unhealthy families. It generates more of what you have to do for your job. And I guess, you know, how would you get out of a job is the question I would think about. And it comes down to is we need to have more family values that we don't have anymore. We need to be able to promote having family, a nuclear family. We need to promote having relationships rather than one night stands. And perhaps those numbers for, lack of with the child support needed will be down. It will lower significantly. And I guess going back to your original point is should vasectomies
child
or
support already lowering
yeah,
without that anyway. Half these kids is gay.
what? I'm confused.
How two gay kids gonna make a baby? So the child support is lessening, and making illegitimate kids is also lessening because now we pushing
What does that have to do with you?
homosexuality into
So
what does it don't have to do with what?
birth rates are lowering.
Mhm.
I don't I don't know what I don't know what orientation rates are. It's very difficult data to obtain reliably, but
I mean, but you gotta.
birth
I
rates are
mean,
lowering, and the many births that are happening, I don't know if it's most, but the many births that continue to happen despite the birth rate lowering are of unwanted pregnancies.
Yeah.
That's my position. As to, you know, um,
is that just
you
that's
know,
is that a Alaska? That's a Alaska statistic, or is that
it's global,
global?
Yeah, birth rates are lowering.
but in Alaska, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. And that's as much as I know you. Your
We've been
job pays.
nasty long before we've been nasty long before the iPhone, y'all.
That's
So
true.
I gotta remember and check myself and keep in mind I'm a lot older than y'all.
Just 4 years though. That's what you said.
Um, so this is a this is a y'all generation conversation. So that's why I was getting a little convicted for a minute. So I gotta apologize to everybody, but this ain't really a conversation for me. Um, we started on flip phones and chirps.
Yeah,
Our social media was taking a live picture of a girl and then go showing all of our friends
this is
and
true.
then having an issue at school the next day about it. Like we've been playing house.
Hmm.
Hmm.
This ain't nothing new. The difference now is it can be shared on a, and I think we said that it could be shared on a platform across the globe for everybody to see it. That's the only difference.
Yeah,
I
We've been
believe
doing that.
I believe that when it comes to serious issues, that somebody has wisdom or insight to share about it, that they should join the conversation. I don't
absolutely.
care if you're 30, 40, 60,
He's 70.
Um,
He's 70 years old.
but if you have wisdom or insight to share on a serious issue that affects your community, you should join the conversation regardless of what generation you identify with. That's what I believe.
oh,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
hear you. I hear you.
Absolutely. It's just this with no disrespect.
No, 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 no.
This don't affect my community. What we talking about?
Sure. No, and I hear you because you already sowed your wild oats, and we're here to still sow or not sow our wild oats. Yeah, I hear you. I absolutely hear you there. Well, do you have any interesting things to share about your job that, affects your perspective on our culture?
No, with respect to people's privacies,
Yeah,
I tend not to share stories
yeah.
about people's individual, I guess, complaints
Yeah,
and situations because um you don't know a person's story, right?
true.
You
Yeah.
don't know why they have children that they are struggling to support.
Hmm.
You know, it's tragic. It's tragic because the focus should be on the child the focus should be on the child whose welfare is at stake,
Yeah,
right?
and I completely agree with that. And the reality of it is that unwanted pregnancies or unwanted children, the only one that's going to affect them the most is the child
Yeah,
itself. It's not going to be
it's the
the
child.
parents won't be the one suffering for it. It will be the child.
Yeah.
Have either one of y'all ever paid child support?
No.
No.
Oh, so coming from somebody who has paid child support for a very long time, um, I think it's all bullshit, and it's better to hold the two people who created the situation accountable, um, opposed to taxpayers for the most part, because it's a lot of unpaid child support cases out there. Correct? That
Correct.
some of the parents, mother and or father, are receiving. Two people who lay down and made that choice, some way, somehow, should have to deal with that choice. Kind of like a bank loan. You get a bank loan, you got to pay it, right? Or you're gonna get sued.
Right.
I mean, there's some sort of way in there, and um, I want to say shout out to President Trump. Uh, for passing a bill that mothers who collect child support from a man can no longer claim the children on his taxes, her taxes. The man has full right to claim the kid because he's spending the money. Um, child support. I no longer pay child support no more. I'm clear. But yeah, coming from somebody who had to and was forced into it, um, I can honestly say the child, for the most part, is being used as a play in probably half of the cases. It's not designed for a man anyway. Um, and a lot of the times men get caught in a situation where the penalty is child support. So instead of a domestic situation, he kind of, you know, vows and accepts it.
Any closing thoughts on that?
Yes. So take an absent parent who is ordered to pay child support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whatever that amount is, that is reasonably not even the amount that they would pay if they had custody.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the state taking some of that.
Well,
Child support is a big,
no.
big.
If you had children in your custody and you were raising children, you know,
Does the state not take a percentage of the? And I don't expect you to say that does the state not get a percentage of the child support being paid? Whatever the father sends the mother and the child monthly, is it the amount the father
if
sent? Is
we're
that the
talking about a
amount?
plain Jane father pays mother or
No, I'm
mother
talking
pays father
about through the
situation,
system,
the
through the
the
child support system.
the child is entitled to every penny of the ordered amount.
Coming from somebody who paid child support again for a very long time, that is not true.
I I don't know what your situation was, and I don't know what was owed to what and what, if assistance was involved, if foster care was involved. I don't know any of those details, but those things matter. Yeah.
That's all. Um, for me, yeah, I don't know. That's you have to have been through it, I think, to give an honest opinion
Yeah.
on it, and it could be from another man who's probably paid child support
No
for a
one's
long
dis
time.
no one's
It'll
discrediting
be
your
different.
perspective
Yeah,
either. Yeah, no one's discrediting your perspective.
yeah.
And by no means did I come on this podcast to boast about the system. By no
Oh
means.
no, no, no,
Right.
no, no,
Yeah, I
not at
think
all.
it's just about
Yeah.
Not at all.
it's about
It's
dialogue.
listen, you only getting it right because you work there, right? So we throwing darts at you. Kinda, I am. So I'm sorry. I don't mean it.
No
I'm talking
apologies necessary.
about the
Yeah.
system,
Yeah.
and I'm throwing darts at you like you here. Like, look, I want to tell child support this, but now I got one, right? So sorry, I didn't
No,
mean
no,
it.
I didn't
Uh,
even take it that way, man. I didn't even take it that way. Yeah, no, by no means did I come here to boast about the system or say that it's
no,
perfect. But all I wanted to, I guess, emphasize is that let us not dismiss uh the mother who has to pay for all her child's needs or father who has to pay for all his child's needs
hmm
when the other parent is absent
oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
and delinquent.
I'll try to summarize both of yours and try to synthesize what you guys are saying. So, with what you're saying, that it should be a private party event where both parties should be able to come with agreement for the best of the child. Mediation, I believe, is a very important key aspect for the well-being of the child. I've seen plenty of cases where both parents hate each other, and the only one suffering is the kid at that point because they have to
Absolutely.
choose ultimately the kid is going to have to choose whose narrative is the right narrative, and the only one that suffers the kid. And if both parents would be able to come to a consensus of how that child should be raised, that'd be great. That's how it should always be. But when it comes to child support itself, it's more about what is the safeguard if both parties cannot agree to a mutual decision the child's for the child's well-being. Then perhaps the government should step in and say, look, you guys cannot come up with a decision. So we're going to say this is the minimum that you both parties have to do for the well-being of this child, right? And for what you were saying with your job, the child support, is that there's a sum that the father has to pay. And if there are an absentee father, which I've seen plenty of cases of absentee fathers not paying child support. So ultimately the person that is, which on what you're saying there, with it comes out of the state money is, the unclaimed child support, right? Because then the state has to pay for.
Taxpayers.
Yeah, so I guess maybe the solution is we need to really go after the absentee parents, father or mother. It's like the absentee parent needs to come up with a more stricter civil case, which is something I would say is maybe the more middle ground, the compromise between the both of you. Would that be an accurate statement?
Between two parents.
Well, the first case should be is that the parents should come together and make a mediated decision of how the child should be raised, what support system, physical, emotional support, having that ability to collaborate with each other. And if they cannot collaborate with each other because both parties don't want to, then perhaps the government should get involved. So if you as
I would
parents
say
cannot
make them.
decide,
If two people make a baby, make them take care of it. Make them some. I mean, that's the. I don't think the government or should tell somebody, what color they can wear, what they can dress like, and none of that. But
sure.
if two people were bringing another human being, that's something completely different here.
Yeah,
Make them take care of it.
yeah, I hear
I
you.
mean, and then that's
I think that there are many families, and this is what Tyken was saying, that there are many families in which the parents uh, will never cooperate with one another,
Yeah,
and they shouldn't be,
I mean,
uh,
shit, they made a baby.
you know.
Like, I mean, somebody need to learn how to apologize.
right.
So perhaps certain systems are in place because it's,
A necessity.
our wise legislators recognize that it's impossible for some parents to cooperate, and so meanwhile, children can't wait. A child can't wait to be supported.
Right.
Something has to happen immediately. So certain systems are in place to expedite and assist
Yeah.
in making some parents cooperate
Yeah.
and assist.
If a dad don't
in
pay child support, he can lose his driver's license and or be arrested, correct? Upon many of things, taxes, EFD, they lose all that, right? If they owe child support and or get behind, right?
Yes, those are
So
actions that
if
can occur
why don't we
with enough
just use
delinquency.
those same actions on two parents if they don't take care of them kids? Like, what
Well,
is the difference?
again, it comes down to absentee parents, right? If an absentee
We're
parent is
giving them
not,
chances to be absent.
so is your solution for the government to force them to be together? Is that the
If
solution?
they bring a child into it, yeah, they in a contract.
I would agree that they made a social contract with each other. Now, what I'm asking is, should the government force them to be together?
Yeah,
Is
they wrote the contract.
okay. All right, cool.
Shit, I want my like why, are y'all taxpayers?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I think so. I mean,
that's
there's
that's a that's
FICO.
another
FICO
big
does take
part
money
of
out of
it.
my paycheck.
That's another big part of it too. And I think anybody would agree for especially what's going on now today. People getting tired of being the people waking up to go bust their ass at work every day and then have to give, a third of their money away. Yeah, people getting tired of this.
Oh, and I totally agree with
Um,
that. Absolutely.
so we got to fix it somehow. But again, it's a big money market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Child support is up there with the medicine, the bad medicine that, it's a big money market. So
Yeah.
so
No, I hear you. I hear you. Absolutely. Well, any closing thoughts, Marcus, about
sorry, not Marcus's fault. We love Marcus. He shout out to him because
yeah.
actually everything he said, he actually is dedicated to the system and to helping the system. So shout
Yeah,
out to him.
absolutely.
I'm speaking from my perspective because I've been the one on the other side, like expecting to get a tax return and didn't.
Right.
Like so.
And your perspective is valued because
Absolutely. Thank
you're
you.
you're an active and involved parent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And so
As much as I don't want to
it-
be. But I choose to be. It's all choice.
Right.
and I had the right guidance and coaching. Again, I think we losing a lot of people don't know, um, have not grew up around it. But we losing the old folks.
Sure.
We losing the old morals.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I hear you.
Old folks didn't have Tinder.
No,
Old folks had 21 kids,
no, they
stayed
have
together
Playboy.
for 40, 50 years.
Right.
Yeah. So I've been with my wife 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
Right?
Slow clap.
Um, and by choice.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to,
Jeez.
but I did it.
Oh Lord.
So
Do you at least know your anniversary date?
we got like 3 of them. Like, so
Okay.
it just depends. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I know them all.
I have mine
The
on the plaque in the wall.
the first kiss, the first date, the first yeah, you know, girly girls that can't wait to grow up and get married, write everything down and don't let you forget anything. So
Again, this is why mine's on the plaque on the wall, so I will never forget.
Yeah, so is mine.
Yeah.
yeah, as soon as you get
There's
married, you
no
get a
excuse.
calendar.
Yeah, go get
Right?
a calendar.
If somebody get married and you want a really good gift, ask for a digital calendar.
There we go. That's gonna be my Christmas present to you. Is gonna be a digital
Yeah.
calendar.
I don't need
To
it. I'm good. I'm
to
gonna get you one.
memorialize.
Oh, thank you. I
Yeah.
really
So you
need
can
one.
keep
Yeah.
track of because it's a lot of moving parts.
Mm.
Well, to memorialize marriage, according to Mr. Nuclear families are the way to go here, Mr. 1950s baby boomer culture
Yeah,
here.
there I am.
Uh,
My
uh,
sperms are ready.
yeah, a family should only allowed to be a family if a biological mother and a biological father have biological children. That's the only
Oh,
definition
there
of
we go.
family.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's absolutely
yeah,
my
yeah,
definition.
yeah.
Y'all believe that?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm just shitting around.
We still recording?
I think so.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Cut that
Yeah,
part out.
cut that part
Cut
out.
that part out.
Well, thank you, Marcus, for coming on the show. It's been, I would arguably say, the most intense conversation we probably had on this podcast.
The pleasure's all mine. The
Yeah.
pleasure's all mine.
That
I
got
know
me
that
a
this
little
is
emotional.
Alaskan Babble, and
Yeah.
I wanted to discuss an issue that I think affects the Alaskan community very
Absolutely.
much. You know,
Absolutely.
you could argue that it affects the nationwide communities, but there's a million of them.
Yeah.
So just looking in the microcosm that is Alaska, you know, from the perspective of you,
Mhm.
you're in education, from the perspective of you, an active, dedicated father who was frustrated by the many unfortunate reasons that keep families broken, and from
I'm not frustrated. I was just speaking for those that's sitting over here that might see this. Like, man, you better say something. So it might
you,
not make it that far, but
but
I'm not frustrated by no means.
and it'd be okay if you were. I am very much so, because I you know, irresponsibility should make responsible people frustrated, because I think um a lot of us have looked at people and thought to themselves, when are you going to get your
Shit together. Yep.
yeah.
I hear you. I hear
why
you.
we keep looking at those people though? If you got your shit together, why are you even hanging out with those people? Is my
We're not hanging out with them. we're,
um
we're distancing ourselves from them and shaking our heads.
like those
Right.
people don't even exist to me. I don't know who that is because I don't. How would you?
Yeah. And I hear
Do you
you.
know anybody? Do you know people who don't got their shit
Oh,
together?
I do. I mean, on a professional level, I do.
You know them.
Yeah, I know them. But if they're active, I mean, there's some people that are actively involved in my lives where I think you should go get your
Oh.
shit together. But I mean, it's not like they have free rent in my mind. That's the best way to put it.
Oh.
I think it's okay, and I think you shouldn't be called selfish if you distance yourself from somebody who needs serious help and you're in no position to give them the help that they need. It's
Right.
okay to distance. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, you're gonna get
Yeah.
yourself in some sort of trouble, and you know.
Almost every time they're just going to drag you down
Oh
with
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Red birds and blue birds don't fly together. I ain't never seen a moose come up this street with an owl sitting on his back, right? So there you go.
Well, I guess on that note, take care, Alaska. We'll see you on another episode of Alaskan Babble Podcast. Keep on babbling.
Keep on gaggling.
Oh, so you do gaggle.
You gaggle.